Hello all. So today we'll be seeing about waste collection. But this waste collection that we are speaking about is just a small branch of a big tree. First, let's see about this big tree that is waste management and know the meaning of it. So waste management or waste disposal is just a process or an action. And this action is mainly done to, segregate, collect and dispose the waste in a proper manner. This requires so many steps in it. As I said, that waste collection is just a branch of this tree. So there are many other processes like collect after collecting the waste, you would have to segregate it, then transfer it, and then dispose the waste, and many other steps relating to this. So let's go ahead and see few more topics about this and what all we'll be seeing in this video. So these are the contents that we'll be discussing today: waste collection, collection and transportation of this waste, collection components, and transfer station. So what is waste collection? Waste collection is a part of the process of waste management. As I said before, that this is just a branch of a bigger tree called waste management. So it is a transfer of solid waste from one point to the other point. That is, say, suppose if you have the waste trucks or the garbage trucks collecting the waste from your house or any other municipal community. So all the processes that are taking place from that, that is to collect the waste and then dispose it at a particular place and then segregate the waste and then taking it to the transfer stations or the disposal units. All the process that is placed between this is what is called as waste collection. So waste collection also includes the curbside collection of recyclable materials that technically are not waste. And when you're saying this curbside, it is a process of waste collection in the urban or suburban areas. That is, you'll have the trucks coming and collecting the waste as the recyclable, non-recyclable, biodegradable, etc. in different ways, and they'll be segregated in that way itself over there only, and it will be collected at that point. Let's see further about this. So now we'll discuss about collection and transportation. So when you're collecting the waste, you need to have a proper manner to do that and also transfer it in a proper way. Where while you're collecting and transporting, you need to look after the costs and the crew that are collecting it, and also about the vehicle that you're using, what type of vehicle it is, all those things. So let's see about it. Proper solid waste collection is important for the protection of public health, safety, and environmental quality. So here it says that you will have to do this waste collection so that we'll have a proper public health, safety, and environmental quality. Yes, so if you have a proper waste collection management system, then it will be useful to get the things done efficiently, and it won't affect the public health, and it will also be safe for the environment. It is a labor intensive activity accounting for approximately three quarters of the total cost of the solid waste management. So while you're speaking about the waste collection, usually you'll see that people come out of a truck and get your waste collected from each of the houses or any municipal community or corporation and etc. And they'll be taking it into the truck and dumping it, segregating it also few times over there itself. So it's a lot of labor intense work done over there. You need a lot of labor and crew members required for it. And here that's what is said, that you need a lot of labors, and that also that most of the cost or the amount invested in the solid waste management is gone for the crew members itself and spending it for them and their salaries. So driver and one or two loaders serve as each collection vehicle. So there's a driver and two loaders in the truck, minimum of them. These are typical trucks of the enclosed compacting types with capacities up to 30 cubic meters. So while you're seeing this waste collection trucks, you should have seen these tempos or these compactor trucks. That is the huge green colored trucks renamed as BBMP on them. So these are the collection and transporting steps. Let's see further about it. What do they? Hmm. So the task of selecting an optimal collection route is a complex problem. Yeah, so when you say that you're going to collect the waste, you should be having a proper route to it, because you cannot go to a area which has less waste or pretty far, and then again come back to the one that is nearer and collect the waste over there. You need to have a proper route and manage it. You cannot go here and there around all the places collecting the waste. You need to have a proper stop or a place where you can collect the waste from everyone in that particular street or locality. So according to that, you can also manage your fuel and cost efficiency with that. And this collection route is mandatory even when you're choosing the vehicles. If you have the bigger vehicles, they cannot be moved into the streets and all those things. So here you need to look after the collection routes and what type of vehicles you're using over there. Especially for large and densely populated cities, an optimal route is one that results in the most efficient use of labor and equipment. So the main place that you would go first while you're collecting the waste would be where you have more number of waste deposited, because that should be removed first to reduce the environmental effects and public health issues over there. So you should manage the collection route according to that. Let's see further about it. Variables include frequency of collection, howl distance, type of services, and climate. Collection of refuse in rural areas can present a special problem since the pollution population density are low, leading to high unit costs. So refuse collections usually occurs at least once per week because of the rapid decomposition of food waste. The amount of garbage in the refuse of an individual home can be reduced by garbage grinders or garbage disposals. Ground garbage puts an extra load on the sewerage systems, but this can usually be accommodated. Many communities now conduct source separation and recycling programs in which homeowners and businesses separate recyclable materials from garbage and place them in separate containers for collection. In addition, some communities have drop-off centers where residents can bring recyclables. So, if you're living in a bigger locality or in an apartment, you should have seen that you'll be dumping your waste outside in a huge bin. You can call it as this immovable bins or the concrete bins that are placed over there. You know, the bigger, large sized ones where you can dump all the waste, and then you'll have the garbage vehicles or the compacted trucks coming once a day or two times a day to collect the garbage from there. So let's see further, and these are the waste collection components that we are seeing. That is, you need to have these minimum requirements for the waste collection. You should check all these lists before you go for the waste collection. That is the collection points, collection frequency, storage containers, collection crew, collection route, transfer station, and collection vehicles. Let's see about collection points. Collection points depend on locality and many residential, commercial, or industrial factors So when you're saying about the collection point, why does it depend on residential, commercial, or industrial factors? Is because, so speaking about a residency, you can have the collection done at a specific spot. That is, you can just park the vehicle over there and give a sign that the garbage truck is there, and then the people will come to dispose the garbage. And for the commercial and industrial purposes, too, the amount of waste is so huge that is you'll have a huge density or huge sized waste deposited over there. So you'll have to go into the industries or go nearby the industries to collect it yourselves. I mean, the garbage truck should do it themselves. So factors: collection system, components as crew size and storage, and cost of collection. Hmm. So in this collection points, you'll have to take care about the crew size, that is the number of people or the crew members going for the collection of the waste, depending on whether it's a residential area or an industry. And also about the storage size, that is the truck which is going. Will it be enough to get the waste collected from the place, or do you need a bigger size truck, or how many times should you be going over there? You should see about all these things. So collection frequency, climatic conditions and requirements of a locality as well as containers and costs determine the collection frequency. So if the place is big, that is, if you have a bigger locality, then you need to go for number of trips or number of times to collect the waste. And depending on the number of times, you would decide the vehicle which you need and also about the fuel costs. And depending on this, you should also decide your collection route. Which way should you be going to collect all these wastes? Seeing about the next topic, storage containers. So you need to have proper storage container selections can have collection energy. When you're saying about the storage container, it varies in different types and shapes. When you're saying about types, the storage container could be of a plastic one, wooden, steel, and many other types. That is the concrete also. And the storage containers could be of few other subclasses also. That is movable, immovable, and haulable storage containers. While you're saying about this movable, immovable, and haulable storage containers, they depend on the purpose they are used for. While you're speaking about a smaller places like your house, you have these small dustbins, the plastic ones or the wooden or steel ones, which can be moved here and there. And the stationary ones or the bigger storage containers are those like the concrete storage blocks or the storage boxes that you would have seen in the corners of any street, things like that, which cannot be moved. You'll just dump the garbage into it and it will be collected by the garbage crew or the collection crew whenever they come in for the garbage collection. So let's see further about it. And these storage containers, you should also make sure that what type of waste are you dumping into them so that they don't damage the container themselves. So you're going to dump a wet waste into the steel or the wooden containers. It's going to start to rust the steel and also decompose the wood. So we'll have to be careful with that while you're also choosing the storage containers for the storage of these wastes. And these are the storage containers that we are speaking about, the plastic one and the steel ones. And over here you can see that you have plastic dustbins placed in different types. That is one with the name of organic materials and non-recyclable materials, plastic, etc., metals. So you can say you can have many number of bins or many number of storage containers to just separate the waste there itself, so that people can know that this bin only takes metals and this one takes plastics, etc. And here you can see that there are these bigger sized containers over here. And here, this is what I was saying about the fixed containers or the stationary ones, which cannot be removed from their place, or it will be difficult to remove them from their place. We'll just have to remove the garbage from them and dump it into the truck. Here we'll see about the collection crew now. So the optimum crew size for a community depends on labor and equipment costs, collection methods, and route characteristics. The size of the collection crew also depends on the size and type of collection vehicles used. So if you're going to use a small collection vehicle, then the crew that will fit into the vehicle is also less because you need to also manage to fit in the waste into it. So you'll maybe have one person to collect the waste and one person driving the vehicle if the vehicle is too small. So the factors over here are the number of stops, frequency of collection, type of vehicle, cost, and automation used. So let's see further about it. We'll see about the collection route. An efficient routing of collection vehicles helps decrease cost by reducing the labor expended for collection. So while you're saying about collecting the waste, usually you'll have, like we said before, that you need to have a proper route and you need to have a number of crew members for that. So when you're speaking about the crew member, they'll only be working for a certain period of time, like say 9 to 4 or something like that. So you'll have to manage the crew members' timings according to the time it's taking to collect the waste. Say if a person is going for n number of frequencies, then you need to spend more amount of money for that person's expenditure. Like you need to increase his salary. So if you have an optimum route for it, you don't need to do that. You'll just have the person go for one frequency and then the waste will be collected in a hole. So there won't be any fuel cost, and also the labor won't be working for a much longer time. And here you can see about the factors: amount of waste collected per stop, distance between stops, loading time and traffic conditions, barriers such as railroad embankments, rivers, roads with heavy traffic, driver judgment and experience. So here, while I'm speaking about the amount of waste collected per stop, let's say that if you're going to a place which has more waste at the first stop itself, then you won't be having enough space in the truck. So again, you need to have to come back after a few times when the truck is full. So the frequency would increase, and depending on this, you should also select your collection route. So now about the transfer station. And this transfer station is a place where you'll send all the waste after it's collected. That is, you'll be dumping it either in the landfills or in a disposal unit. And from there, the waste will be segregated. And this segregation is done in the transfer station. So let's see about this transfer station. A transfer station is an intermediate station between final disposal option and collection point. So after the collection and before the disposal of the waste, you'll have this transportation in between them. So let's see about that. As collection vehicles and crew remain closer to routes, if the disposal site is far from the collection area, it is justifiable to have a transfer station. The transfer station serves as a pre-processing point. Factors. So the factors depending on this transfer station are driver rest time, traffic, labor cost, loading time, etc. So if you're speaking about working for a longer time, you need to also provide some rest for the driver and the crew members. So it will be efficient if you have a transfer station where you can transfer the load or the waste at particular times so that you can take some rest and again go back for your work. That's what the transfer station helps us to do. And let's see about the collection vehicles now. Collection vehicles move through the collection service areas with a vehicle for collecting the waste material. So collection vehicles, as we said before, they may be of different types as the compacted trucks, non-compacted trucks, or the small tempos, and many other varieties of vehicles that are used to collect the vehicle and to transport it from the point of collection to the disposal or the transfer stations. So the factors affecting the collection vehicles, like when you're choosing the collection vehicle, you need to see about how much load it can take and whether it is sufficient to go for a farther distances, what type of fuel does it use and how much would be the fuel cost for it, and etc. other things. So let's see about few examples of these compacted trucks. I mean the collection vehicles. Dump truck fitted with hydraulic lifting machines, mechanisms, small scale collections, and muscle powered vehicles. Non-compacted trucks and compacted trucks. So these are the examples of the collection vehicles that we would be seeing. And while you're choosing all these collection vehicles, you should be seeing about the terrain, what type of the place it is, type and density of the waste generation points, strength, stature, and capability of the crew. Whether the crew will be able to collect all the waste properly within that vehicle's limit, or will it require many number of members, or is it enough to just have one crew member to collect the waste? This will all be seen before you go for the collection vehicles. Let's see about these vehicles now. These are the vehicles that I was speaking about. The non-compacted trucks, compacted trucks, and all those things. So this is the compacted truck I was speaking about. You would have seen these trucks near the main roads or the bigger communities. And this would be coming nearby your homes. These are the human pulled or muscle powered vehicles to collect the waste. So this is all about waste collection and all the things that are present with it. So thank you for listening.